30-minute SuperGirl sculpting and stretching workout will be done with a ball and weights. Make sure you watch till the end for a little surprise visit we get from some of our best friends here in Gotham City. We're starting out with some alternating lunges. Make sure that you pad your knees. You can double up your mat if it doesn't feel good for you to be on your knees. And make sure you're planting your front heel down, trying to sink deep to get a stretch in the back hip. Make sure you're exhaling as you lunge and try to inhale as you take it back. The deeper you go, of course, the more flexibility you'll need. Now, raising your arms will increase the intensity both in the stretch, and it will also take your heart rate up a little bit, so it will prepare you for the workout a little bit more. Now, getting ready to change it up, we are going to grab our ball, stand on up, and get into a round of squats with the ball between our thighs. We'll be targeting the entire legs and core. So I've got the ball between my thighs, my feet are parallel. I'm just angling so you can see me a little bit better. I am sending my hips back as if there is a chair behind me as I bend through my knees, my hips, and my ankles. I'm reaching my hands forward and I'm exhaling as I go down, and I'm trying to keep my knees right aligned over my midfoot. The lower you go, the more challenging these will get. And let's try some pulses down and up, right in the belly of the movement. And we're going to move into some heel raises. So staying in that squat, keeping the knees bent, lift your heels and release. Let's lift and release, lift. Now with the heels lifted, let's pulse those knees down and up, down and up, down and up, really getting deep into those legs. Now squeeze that ball, squeeze it, keeping those heels up, keeping ourselves as deep as we can in those squats. Make sure you're breathing. And from there, we're going to take it back down to the dumbbells and get into a round of plies with the balls underneath our ankles. If you're concerned that it's going to pop, it won't. This is also one of the reasons why I like to leave the ball not 100% blown up, just so I have some room to kind of squish it. So my heels are together, my toes are apart, and I'm lowering down and I'm aiming to keep my spine in that nice neutral position. I'll start with my hands right in front of my thighs. My palms are facing back. Exhaling down, and let's start to reach those arms out laterally, side shoulder raise. I've got my thumbs reaching up here, and the goal is to get the hands to reach up to shoulder height as I lower down into that squat and try to have that happen simultaneously. Few more like this, and of course we will start a round of pulses. Remember, the lower you go, the more challenging it'll get. So now let's go ahead and just hold it down and just do little moves, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now let's change it to a wide elbow bicep curl. As you lower, curl the hands to your shoulders, keeping your elbows at that shoulder distance height apart. Now let's take it to a shoulder press. Take it up as you plie, up as you plie, up as you plie, up as you plie, keeping that waistline really long, keeping your rib cage pulled in. Just a few more here, and then we're going back to a big lateral raise into our overhead star position. So as you lower down, see how low you can get as you reach the hands up overhead. Of course, if you need to modify, don't take it as high if that doesn't feel right on your shoulders. Your abs are staying in super duper tight. My knees are reaching out, but I'm not trying to take them out too much wider than my middle toe. Now let's hold it overhead and pulse down, up, down, up. Now squeeze the knees in, all the while staying as tall as I can through my spine. And let's take it down to the mat for a stretch. Now we're going to move through a little bit of a vinyasa flow. So let's start to come into our downward facing dog, flipping the feet over, piking the hips up, spreading through my fingertips, and then coming into a plank, lowering down through that chaturanga, flipping through the toes, upward dog, and then back through that downward dog to the plank, chaturanga push-up. Of course, you can bend through the knees if you need to, through that up dog, back through the plank and that downward dog. Few more times like this. Always respect your body. You might want to leave out that little tricep push-up. I'm going to come through my child's pose. I'm going to grab that ball, and from here we're going to go into a round of balance lunges. We're going to be doing quite a few things. So I'm starting in a deep lunge, and then I'm reaching up and I'm going almost into a single leg deadlift, and I'm reaching the ball ahead. So come up, lunge, and then reach and kick. The hard part's going to be keeping your hips square. So right here, my left hip, I'm squaring that off to my right foot. So that back hip is reaching towards that front hip the whole time. I'm going as low as I can keep my hips square, and my front foot, I'm pressing all 5 of those toes down. Now let's hold that back leg up for a few pulses, lifting from that inner thigh, keeping the abs engaged. Now let's grab the weight and the ball, and we're going to squeeze that weight behind the knee and the calf, keeping the heel lifted, and we're going to start to balance on that front leg as we raise that back leg up, 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 up. Now start to bend your balancing leg, your standing leg. Bend it, bend it, bend it, bend it. Now reach your back leg in circles, and circling that knee, circling that knee, circling that knee. Make sure you're breathing. Now go ahead and grab both the ball and the weight, and I'm going to travel my back hand with my back foot, almost going into a little bit of a lunge crunching motion. And I'm balancing on that front leg before we take it all the way down to the mat and start this process over on the other side. From here, I'm going into that lunge, balance, reach with the ball, taking it down as low as I can keep my hips square. You can always leave the balance out or use a wall or something in front of you to balance on. Lowering down into that lunge, reaching out into that balance, and again, lowering it on down, reaching it on away, exhaling and inhaling, trying to keep that front foot pressing all the way down into the mat. And we're just about ready to get into all of that balance work and pulses. From here, grab your weight. We'll squeeze that weight behind the back heel or the back calf and thigh. As you can see, I'm on the struggle bus just a little bit. Now I'm balancing on my front leg and I'm reaching that back leg back. I'm keeping my heel squeezing toward my butt the whole time. You can always hold on to something for balance. I'm pressing it and I'm reaching it in, pressing. Now I'm going to start to bend my standing leg down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It doesn't need to be big to be effective. Now I'm going to circle that back leg, circle it, circle it, circle it, circle it, circle it. And I went in the other direction on this leg. I'm not sure if I did that on the other leg. So go ahead and grab your back leg, grab that weight and place the ball between your knees. And we're going to go into a round of planks from here. I'm going to do a high plank. Feel free to modify if you need to. I'm tapping my knees towards the mat. You don't actually have to touch them. Remember, we don't want to hurt our knee joints, so be really careful with that. Do spread your fingers wide. Let's pulse it down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Nice deep breaths. Now twist the hips, twist, twist, stay as still as you can in that upper body and twist it, twist, 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 twist. Just a few more, really keep that waist in, and let's take that child pose. Now moving into a round of abs with the ball underneath our shoulder blades. It can be a little tricky to get it there, but once you do, it's to help support your neck. I still have my hands behind the nape of my neck, and I'm going to aim to keep the space between my lower back and my mat really still. So that's my neutral spine. It's a little different than with your neutral spine if you didn't have the ball there. Now I've got one leg in my table position and I'm trying to stay even on both sides as I crunch. And now I'm going to start to rotate. rotate. Let's take that opposite hand and reach it, and then let's start to reach the knee away as the arm reaches back, and then pull the knee in as that knee bends in. Still doing my best to stay in that neutral spine positioning, lifting from that waistline. And let's go ahead and start the process on the other side, taking a stretch first, lifting on up, lifting the other leg in that table position. Let's go ahead and crunch and then add that twist, crunch and twist, crunch and twist. You're exhaling and inhaling. And now let's add that arm extension in. And then let's go ahead and start to add that leg extension in. As we reach, we bring our hand to our foot as we bend. As the foot reaches away, the hand reaches back. The spine stays neutral. You're inhaling, you're exhaling, you're engaging those abs, you're keeping that spine really long. And now for our finale, let's see if we can lift both feet up and start a little toe tap alternating, trying to keep those legs at 90 degrees. From here, take a rest for a moment, let your neck drop down. Let's lift one leg up and now add some rotation in to those alternating toe taps, going into your bicycle crunch as you twist. You're exhaling, 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 keeping your abs as tight as you can, taking another rest. Let's go back into some double leg ones. I'm just going to adjust my ball a little bit. As always, feel free to do so yourself so it's in the right spot. Both of my legs are lifted up in that table position, and I'm going to go into my double leg stretch classical, reaching the arms back. As always, you can leave your hands behind the nape of your neck or do one leg at a time. These are definitely a little bit on the challenging side. Let's come on up just for a moment and get ready for a round of bridges with the dumbbell. We're going to put the ball between our knees and that dumbbell's in our hands. I've got my feet in a parallel position and my hands starting up. I'm lifting my hips up into my bridge. I'm starting out in an articulated spine position, inhaling on the up, exhaling on the down. I have my hands right above my chest and I'm keeping my weight centered on my back of my shoulders and on the big bones of my back as opposed to on the little bones in my neck. Well, let's do a few more here and then we will start to add things on. Now let's do a few pulses right at the top. I'm doing my best to keep my abs engaged. I'm lifting, 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 keeping a nice squeeze on that ball so I stay as parallel as possible. Now let's go the heels together, toes apart, and start another round. Now I'm lifting up in my hips and then I'm lifting my heels once my hips are high. Now let's add a chest press in. So as I'm lifting up through my hips and my heels, I'm making it simultaneous. So everything's happening at once. I'm making this smooth as possible. Try to exhale as you lift and inhale as you lower. Now let's get ready to split this up into some single arm pulses. I've got one arm up, one arm down, and now I'm starting to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that ball, taking it up at the top. And now let's get ready for some single leg work. I'm going to grab the ball and take one leg up and start to lift it up, 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 and then circle it, circle it, circle it, circle it. Now, as you can see, some of New York's finest have decided to come and tell me that my Pilates was not on point enough to practice here in Brooklyn. Please keep in mind, I live in an area in Brooklyn that would not be considered low crime, and this is what the NYPD chooses to stop. I'll leave you with that, my friends. Please do your other leg, and I'll see you on the flip.